Next, we will discuss about final variables in Java. Final variables in Java. So, what are final variables in Java? The class level or local level. Local level is nothing but a method level. Local level the class level variable or local level variable that has final keyword in its definition is called a final variable. So we will see an example how we can work with our final variables. So we have a rule in this final variable, that is nothing but once it is initialized by developer, its value cannot be changed. Means, for example, if I am creating int a is equal to 10 as final, I cannot change this int a is equal to 10 to modified value. The value is fixed for final variable. If I use final int a is equal to 10, you cannot change that a value from 10 to another value because it is already final. If we try to change its value, then it's lead to compile time error. We will see how to work with. First, I will make a note about this. The class level or local variable that has final keyword in its definition is called final variable. The class level or local level variable that has final keyword in its definition is called final variable. So I have discussed with you that we have a rule in final variables, that is nothing but once it is initialized by developer, its value cannot be changed, and if we try to change its value, then it leads to compile time error. Once it is initialized by developer, its value cannot be changed. If we try to change its value, it leads to compile time error. We will see how to work with final variables in Java. So I will create final variable. Just go to Notepad, create a new file. I will create a class with some example 1. This is my class. Inside this class, I will create static int a is equal to 10. Then I will create static. I will create final variable static final int b is equal to 20. This is my final static variable. This is my normal static variable. Next we will create instance final variable or non-static final variable. Int x is equal to 30. This is my normal non-static or instance variable. Final int x is equal to 40. This is my final non-static variable. Next, I will create a main method, public static void main. Inside this string array args. Inside this main method, I will create int p is equal to some 50. This 50 is a normal local variable. Next, I will create final int q. Q is equal to 60. This is a final local variable. Next, I will try to modify this value like q is equal to, I want to modify this value. We will see whether what will get error or not. I will show you. So here we will get compile time error. We cannot assign a value to final variable. We will get error. Now we will execute this class. I am creating normal static variable and final static variable, and I am creating normal non-static variable and final non-static variable. Here I am creating normal local variable and final local variable, but I am modifying this final local variable. What we have rule in our final variable, we cannot change the value of final variable, but I am modifying this. We will get error. We will see that. Which just save it, Control S, example 1.java. Just open command prompt, javac example1.java. Here it is showing me variable x is already defined in class example1. We got error and we got cannot assign a value to final variable q. Cannot assign a value to final variable q means we cannot modify this final variable. I will delete it. Then you will not get error here. So you are getting error here because int x is equal to 30 I already defined. Then I am using final keyword with int same x variable with 40. We have already defined x is equal to 30 and we cannot define this value and we cannot make it final. That's the reason it is showing me variable x is already defined in class example1. So we will change this x to y. Now you will not get any error. Just save it, Control S. Now compile it, javac example1.java. Our class has successfully come. Here we are executing our example class. Our class name is example1. Sorry, I did a mistake. We have to execute our example1 class, Java example1. So we can compile it, we can execute it. We are not getting any errors. Here I did a mistake. I have compiled example1.java, then I am executing example class. That's the reason I am getting error. We have to execute our example1 class. Then we are not getting any error. It is not printing anything on console because we are not printing anything. We are seeing whether we can modify final variable or not. That we are seeing in this. Next we will discuss about transient variables and volatile variables in Java. First we will discuss about transient variables. transient variables. So what is transient variables and what is the use of transient variables and where we use these transient variables, we will discuss now. Transient variables are nothing but the class level variable that has transient keyword in its definition is called transient variable. We declare this variable as transient to tell to JVM that we do not want to store variable value in a file in object serialization, because since local variable is not part of object, declaring it as transient is illegal. We cannot declare our local variable as transient. Object serialization is nothing but sending object from through a network. When we send a object through network, we do not want to store this value in a file. If you do not want to store variable value in that file, then you have to use that variable with transient keyword. I will make a note about this. The class level variable that has transient keyword in its definition is called transient variable. So we have a rule in transient variables. Rule is nothing but local variable cannot be declared as transient. It leads to compile time error. How we can create transient variable in our class, I will show you. Class, some example. Static transient int x is equal to 10. This is static transient value. And if you want to create non-static or instance transient value, transient int y is equal to 20. This is how we can create static and instance transient variables. So we can execute this class in our Java file, but now this class we cannot send as a file in object serialization. This you will learn with technologies like JDBC, servlets, JSP. There you can learn how to work with object serialization and sending file in object serialization. So just this example class, just I am explaining you how to use this transient keyword and where to use it. Now we are not using any technologies with our class. We are just learning basics. That's the reason I cannot execute this example class and I cannot send this transient int x is equal to 10 from any object serialization to another technologies or networks. So we have a note in this transient variable. Why we use this transient, I have explained you. We declare variable has transient to tell to JVM that we do not want to store variable value in a file in object serialization. We declare a variable as transient to tell to JVM that we do not want to store this variable value in a file in object serialization. Since we are not using any object serialization in our class, so this you will learn in technologies like JDBC, servlets, JSP and Spring frameworks. In technologies and frameworks, you will see how to send a file in object serialization. All those you will see in advanced topics like JSP, JDBC, servlet and Spring framework. There you will learn this. But here I am just creating example class. Here you cannot send this int x is equal to 10. This is just a line I am explaining you where we will use it. Next we have volatile variable. What is volatile variable? The class level variable that has volatile keyword in its definition is called a volatile variable. Why we use volatile variable? We use volatile variable to our variable to tell to JVM that we do not want to modify this variable value concurrently by multiple threads. If we declare a variable as volatile, multiple threads are allowed to change its value in sequential one after another. First, I will make a note about this. The class level variable that has volatile keyword in its definition is called volatile variable. I will just show you how we can create volatile variable, but we cannot send it to but we cannot use it through threads because we did not enter in advanced topics. It's just a basics. Here I will just create a volatile variable. How we can create it, I will show you. Class, some example. Static volatile int x is equal to 10. This is static volatile. Volatile int y is equal to 20. This is my non-static volatile. So we have discussed why we use volatile keyword to our variable to tell to JVM that we do not want to modify this value concurrently by multiple threads. I want to allow to change its value in sequential one after other by using threads. That's the reason we use volatile to our variable. So here we are just creating volatile variables, so we cannot execute or we cannot use multiple threads to work on this just int y is equal to 20. This you will learn in our advanced topics. This is here I'm just explaining to you how you can create volatile variable and what is the use of it. I will make a note about this. Why we use volatile keyword? So note, we declare variable has volatile to tell to JVM that we do not want to modify variable value concurrently by multiple threads. If we declare variable as volatile, multiple threads are allowed to change its value in sequence, one after one. So this is the use of volatile keyword in Java. So we declare variable as volatile to tell to JVM that we do not want to modify variable concurrently by multiple threads. If we declare variable as volatile, then multiple threads are allowed to change its value in sequence, one after other. So this is how we can create our volatile variable. Thank you.